having to forfeit quite as many games. There are still some forfeits here and there, but it's not as if a certain team is overseas for an event or two and then they miss half the season. It's typically you might miss one cup, but that's about
and that's fine,
as far as it goes.
Yeah, you're guaranteed to get to play at like least 2, which should give you enough of an opportunity to get your name in the hat if you do, mean business kind of thing. And we are ready to go, basically on time, Elfish Guy. Maybe I'm the good omen. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, mate. But we're in the action here, Rare Atom and the Huns. It's the pick of the Huns up first. It's Ancient, and we're thrust straight into the action.
Yeah, it looks like Huns aren't going to be messing around too much. Quickly up in towards a long. Not going to dedicate themselves just yet to that A take, but it's certainly looking like that's going to be where they opt to go. They might decide to wait this smoke out, see if they can give 9 a little bit of time to work middle, maybe try and find a pick, maybe just try and take a bit of space, but it seems like Marek is all over it. The most recent addition to the Rare Atom roster. He's supposed to be a coach, or an assistant coach even, but yeah, he's in the server here and he's picked up the opening kill.
Yeah, good work from him. Nice frag found. And that means that Li Hang is able to just continue to commit to his flank all the way through T-Spawn, catches the Rolta in the back, and now it becomes super one-dimensional. And Rare Atom know exactly what's going on. Score spots out Child King, who knows he's been seen. It's just about life preservation and buying time for the rotation to continue to flood in on this A bomb site. Child King not just going to be a distraction, he's going to be the one to get the kills as well. Li Hang will put the finishing touches on the round. It's a great way to open up for Rare Atom.
Yeah, that's definitely gone a bit pear-shaped for the Huns. Not too enthusiastic of a round from them. And again, this is obviously early days, but one of the things that we were talking about prior to going live was just the stylistic approach, I guess, from the Huns often being a little bit, let's say, individualistic in some instances. And I think there's another example of it. There's not a whole lot of nuance to that pistol. There's not a lot of funny business. It's just kind of like, does 9 win a duel in middle? No. Does anybody win a duel out on A? No. Okay, we lose the round. And that might be something that you can sort of accept when it comes to the pistol rounds, but we're going to have to hope to see a little bit more, particularly when it comes to the gun rounds. Child King, with one of the peaks of all time there, is getting a lot of work done with that MP9, and Tiger doing much the same. This is looking very comfortable so far for Rare Atom.
Yeah, and I love how they just let the MP9s loose here in this round, knowing that they're going to be playing against the Eco as well. MP9s just tearing the Huns apart, banking that extra money. Only Zerolt left, and it's just a formality from here, a bit of time. Maybe bleed out some extra utility, but yeah, Rare Atom showing some impetus here in the round, keen to fight on the front lines, maybe a theme of things to come on their CT side of Ancient, trying to disrupt the Huns. One thing it does mean, though, if you're going to be playing against a team who are going to be relying on the individuals, is that you individually have to be sharp as well. Otherwise, you could just get completely run over.
Yeah, which I honestly wouldn't say is necessarily the strong suit of Rare Atom, personally. I think they are one of those teams that kind of sometimes has their on days, sometimes has their off days. I'd typically be looking at someone like a Child King to probably be leading from the front. Tiger as well, I think a pretty interesting addition to this lineup. I've been a fan of Tiger for a little while. So for me, those are probably the two players that you'd look at and say, quote unquote, firepower is the expectation. Whereas, again, Summer and Marek are kind of getting on in the years a little bit, and Li Hang tends to be a little bit more of a reserved approach in general as well. So we'll see how it sort of goes across the board. But, so far, no problem from Rare Atom. This, though, being the first gun round, is going to start to raise a few more questions. And there's quite a bit of util being dumped on the A site by the Huns, but doesn't seem to have fooled Rare Atom. They've got a player pushed down the ramp on B. They've got a player progressed in middle. They've got a lot of information that, well, there's not a whole lot happening over here towards A. So they're going to start to float their players off of A.
Yeah, in the meantime, though, Li Hang has taken this advanced position. The problem is he's the only line of defense right now between the Huns and the B bomb site. He's not going to get any support anytime soon. He hasn't got any utility to try and keep him at bay either. Zeralt going to spot him as he steps out. That frag might just be enough to straight up guarantee the round, as they've got this passage in towards the B-bomb side. If that didn't, this certainly will. Nine and Bartak combine to blow the door wide open on middle. There's a response from the MP9. Tigers does as well. Why are we getting so complicated with this, boys? Let's just keep it nice and simple. Head into that B-bomb side, or just allow Bartak to finish off the job. That works as well.
Welcome to Asia, my friend. It's going to be a wild ride, as we've just seen. It sometimes gets a little bit shambolic, dare I say. Not really too sure what's going on in that round, actually. I mean, and again, actually, it does kind of come down to the Huns winning a few aim duels, right? Like, Li Hang, I actually think in that position, just outside of B's, in a bit of an off angle, you'd think would probably win that opening duel. Doesn't, and then obviously the mid fight doesn't go well for Rare Atom either, and largely, again, that round just kind of comes down to a bunch of aim duels happening and going favorably for the Huns. It's not as if anyone was flashed off a line or pushed out of position by a Molotov or anything like that. It's just pure aim duel aggression from the Huns, and that's worked out. 1 for 1 in the 4th round to kick things off here. Some are looking to hold on, but unable to do so as Bartak does double down, and now Cobra Zero also looking for a fight of his own. He's gonna have to take it against Li Hang, and he will be able to convert that. So the Huns starting to wake up a little.
I mean, the one thing, and it's the fact that Marek, now he's going to have to compromise his position to get that kill, and Cobra Zero backs up into them. So Cobra Zero paying with his life to get the information that that A-bomb site's completely vacant. Don't even know if Marek wants to attempt this in the 1v2, being so far away. No residual money either. Going to be a difficult retake, having to take so much time to even get into a position where you can start to think about getting onto the bomb site. Bomb plant confirmed. See how Marek goes about his business here.
Yeah, see if some of that veterancy can shine through here. We see a player that's been around for quite a while. Don't know that he's really going to give himself enough time to make this happen, but maybe he gets the freebie onto Bartak and defuses in a smoke. That could be a potential angle. Fortunately,
the only angle.
Looks like Nine is going to be able to wrap that one up nice and easy, so needed to get that smoke down a little bit earlier. Another round will go the way of the Huns.
Yeah, I reckon Nine is very happy that he's been able to catch a glimpse of Marek trying to cross there before the smoke has bloomed. Never ideal when you hear the defuse being tapped in a smoke and you only have an AWP at that point. Got to connect on the first or second shot. So not a bad attempt from Marek. I'm surprised that Bartak doesn't actually consider the flank at all when he's behind the box at that point, but it's all good. It all works out in the end, as the Huns are able to answer back with a couple gun rounds, and largely thanks to Bartak's success in middle. Couple multi-kills coming through from him in towards mid with some big contributions. Means an eco round now for Rare Atom. With the Hero M4 and Marek, I'm not a massive fan of the Hero M4 on the CT side, unless you've really got the means for it. I just don't see it often materializing into a round win, you know. Do you get on board with the Hero M4 on the CT side?
No, not really. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Hero AK, but the Hero M4 doesn't really kind of tickle my pickle, so to speak. Li Hang and Tiger with just a couple of USPs here, unlikely to get too much done. Tiger's going to be dealt with. It seems like the Huns are here to play on this T side of Ancient, which is what you'd want, what you'd kind of hope, given that it is their map pick.
Honestly, Ancient and Mirage play pretty similarly, so even though it is going to be Mirage up next and we got Ancient first, both teams should be pretty comfortable on each other's map picks in terms of trying to play on the front foot, taking the fight to their opponents, being happy with some scrappier affairs. And also just a reason I don't really like the Hero Rifle on the CT side is because you can't guarantee that you're going to get to contribute in the round, whereas Hero AK, you know you're always going to be set up, you're always going to have a chance to make something happen, excuse me. On the CT side, the game's got to kind of come to you, and to try and, you know, once they know that you're there, they'll either just like overwhelm you with numbers or go to the opposite side of the map. So it's very difficult to affect the round in a meaningful way with the Hero Rifle on the CT side.
Yep, I agree. Oh, again, another faster approach from Zeralt up lane. And able to take that position away from Rare Atom. Doesn't look like Rare Atom are really looking to contest anything too aggressively at the moment on the CT side. These mid fights have been very problematic for them, though, and that's a nice shot from Score. Again, that's some of that kind of firepower that you expect to see from him. Zerolt gets the better of Lihang, a bit of a messy spray from the CT there. And the Huns are really just punishing Rare Atom in an individual aim department. I feel like a lot of these duels that we're watching should not be as easy for the Huns as they are at the moment.
Yeah, they're looking sharp. Really good, clean kills coming through from them. Not entirely sure what Child King was thinking there and towards top mid, just kind of dry peeking out there, losing the gunfight with Score at range. I like the fact that the Huns have now just slowed things down, posted on angles in the 5v3, and they know that the CTs are probably going to look to try and make a play to get back into the round. If they can punish that play, they guarantee the win in the round. But there won't be anything on offer, so now as the timer ticks down, it's going to be on them to make another move.
Alright, I'm happy to just hold on to that cave control for the moment. Tiger's going to have his work cut out for him, particularly with an A1S. He might just run out of bullets here if multiple players make their way up the ramp, but Marek should have a freebie, won't. Again, another sharp shot from Zerolt. Cobra Zero good for the trade, and that is the site taken by the Huns. Adam definitely letting themselves down in a couple of instances, and giving that fourth round over now to the Huns, who are really starting to look quite stable.
Yeah. I mean, they've gotten to this position in pretty dominant fashion, I'd say. Been very comfortable in the rounds that they've been winning. Early stages of the rounds looking good. A lot of emphasis in towards middle here from the T side as well. Seemed like that was the round that Rare Atom were trying to adjust, thinking, okay, you know what, you guys can have mid. We'll focus more on jungle. We'll focus on donut. Maybe we'll try and make a bit of a play through main or ramp. And then Child King just swings top mid and dies. It's like, come on, we can have a few more layers than that, I reckon.
Terrorists win.
Well, Summer's able to hold on to the gun at least. But I'm not sure that that's going to necessarily do a whole lot that's going to be beneficial for Rare Atom by just be pistol armor across the board.
And the game starts to get away from them quite quickly. Like you say, though, max round loss bonus behind them means they can afford a few upgraded pieces coming into this round, so Huns can't switch off entirely.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. Mid-control attempt here from Rare Atom is going to be met with not a whole lot initially from the Huns, but it'll be a late mid-take. Flash is coming over the top now. And Rare Atom find themselves pushed away from that part of the map. So mission successful to begin with for the Huns. Now they can start to build on this round.
Yeah, been able to get themselves a bit of a foothold in towards middle. Could use that to springboard themselves through either Donut Red Room or used as leverage to maybe go back up Speedway. Main thing is that you just keep that strength in numbers approach. You know, wherever you're going to go, you can have a big firepower advantage. I say that Summer's dropped the bomb carrier. And it's going to be Lihang who makes a move at the same time as well. Decent damage inflicted. How's he gotten another? He's even affected a third effectively. Lihang with the huge individual effort has basically just won the round for his team. It's only score left remaining and it shouldn't be for much longer. I say that, but he gets two brilliant frags back and he seems to have the reach. Child King's going so loud and proud. My God, full confidence. He'll finish off the round and that's a reprieve for Rare Atom.
Man, that is just, that's just so Huns. Like, I feel like I've watched this game 1,000 times. They're on top, they're playing really well, they're hitting their shots, they're looking solid, and then they lose to pistols, or they lose to MP9s, or they lose, like, shooting each other in the back of the head. It's just so... I don't even know what to say. Like, it just happens so often for these guys that I just really don't know. Like, it's something that they've got to look to fix before the major if they want to go deep at the major. I mean, if they even want to get a win or two in stage one, they're going to have to do better than this. And this is going to be where this map is going to sort of swing back in the other direction. Rare Atom are going to get themselves a bit of momentum off of that round. Bartak needs a flash. Can't see anything. The fight on lane has gone well for Summer and Child King. And unless Bartak comes up with a bit of a miracle here, this B-bomb site's going to be a tough nut to crack. Cave control still in the hands of Lihang, who has spotted Bartak and won a fight on 29 HP. So it's just going from bad to worse for the Huns. Score's lucky to be alive, but he won't be for long, I imagine.
I mean, if they could get a bomb plant out of this at a minimum, that would be nice. But even that feels like a pipe dream at this point. No utility, score on 3 health, cooped up in the corner. 9 really struggling to find anything here as well. Just scaling forward, trying to see if they've got a bit of breathing room. Score able to cross back and towards the pillar, so the bomb plant should be realized here. But an impossible post plant, I'd imagine, especially with that kill there from Marek. And I guess in that instance, all you look to try and do is just celebrate the fact that you get a plant. But for Rare Atom, it's a leveled up scoreline.
Yep. Yeah, back to 4-4. Where it really could have been, I mean, 5-2 had Huns won the round that they should have won, and then who knows where we go from there.
True. So forceful from Huns as well, trying to go up ramp into that B-bomb site. Looked a lot more convincing in towards middle in their gun round so far. Also, I just had a little bit of a laugh to myself at the end of the anti-eco that Huns lost, because it sounds like you almost have a bingo card for these sorts of matches, and you'd like check 3 things off the bingo card for the Huns. Will they shoot their teammates in the back? Will they lose to pistols? You know, will they just drop really advantageous situations? They did it all in that round, man.
Believe me, I think I've been given a pretty traumatic experience more often than not by the Asian Counter-Strike over the last 10 years that, yeah, might as well have a bingo
More
card.
grey hairs, maybe?
Oh, I started going grey when I was 21, so it'll tell you exactly what it needs to. But mid-control here has, to an extent, been established for Rare Atom. Again, it looks like it's going to be a late contest out from the Huns, but Child King keeping an eye on it. Li Hang thinking about a contest, though. Zeralt is there up close and personal. Won't quite get him on the fadeaway. Just a bit of a jostle here from Child King, but he is playing a dangerous game, especially now with that volley that's going to keep him locked in, force him to fight, and yet he still gets a 1v1 against 9. That seems illegal.
Yeah.
Gets traded back down, but Huns can be doing this a little cleaner.
Didn't even look like 9 shot there. Does he maybe like mid-reload or something? I'm not entirely sure. It's way too easy for Child King. Should have been dead without finding a kill. So the fact that he does go 1 for 1 before he inevitably goes down is a pretty good return. Rare Atom seem like such a frustrating team to play against when on the CT side. They've just got these weird offbeat timings that they look to try and take fights. You can never take anything for granted. Late smoke towards top ramp. Again, going to be frustrating for the Huns who have set their own utility up here. And it doesn't look like they're going to be respecting the ramp smoke. They're going to try and go through with the back of some utility. Li Hang is in the corner. Attention being taken by Marek to try and set Li Hang up. But he's still being hard cleared by Cobra Zero. Good job out of him to get the kill.
Someone going to have a bit of a crack at denying that bomb plant, but the spray is wayward. Marek still working around the hole in the smoke, and Zeralt just seems to have forgotten about it, leaving Cobra Zero high and dry, and scores on another planet at the moment. He's got a line onto Tiger, but this should not be an issue. Marek didn't sit the defuse, so Score's going to actually be able to have a crack here. It should not be allowed into any position to actually deny that defuse. Nice couple of taps from Score. But again, Rare Atom now find themselves with the lead on Ancient. They're up 5 and 4, and it looked like it was a half that really was getting controlled by the Huns, and it's completely shifted.
I mean, all off the back of that half-by win for Rare Atom has completely changed the direction of the winds here on Ancients as they actually start to pull ahead, put some scoreboard pressure on their opponents. Going to be a bit of a half investment back here for the Huns, hoping that they can do to Rare Atom what was done to them a couple rounds back. Open play for 9, yet to really move the needle. And AK still in play for Score. He's going to be the one to break down the door if Huns can win this round. The one thing I will say is that there's never a dull moment in this game, which you can get like a lot of European matches, a lot more calculated in their approaches. It just seems like there's always something going on.
Oh, I actually really enjoy watching Asia for that exact reason. It feels like there's always something around the next corner. Nothing ever really makes sense, but who needs to make any sense of what's happening? Tiger's been able to slide back out on the line, though the Molotov will force him away. Li Hang also pushed back by some util. Rare Atom scrounging to try and get a bit of util out on that B-bomb site. Zeralt's just hit a Deagle wallbang onto Tiger as he exits the site.
That's insane. Was that like 100 damage? Because there was no assist.
It looked like it. It did look like it. He just dropped A. I don't think it wasn't a headshot.
It wasn't, no. Maybe the first one was?
Maybe the first one was, yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy that there wasn't an assist and like Tiger had been tagged down early in the round and then just catches us straight through the wallbang. Well, 5v3, and they've got a very good read on the situation as well as they look to try and shift themselves through middle. Child King's going to be late to the party. Might hear all these steps though as the Huns surge forward into the safe bomb site. And it puts Rare Atom in retake territory. Do they even attempt the retake? I mean, they don't have much money on a couple of their players. Probably best off saving, but it looks like they want to roll the dice.
That ain't the Asia way. We ain't saving here. Yeah, I think you're right. A save would not have been a bad shout, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Now that I think about it, by the way, I think Tiger was tagged up by the molly. At least a bit of a tickle. So it might have been 2 body shots or a wallbang headshot that didn't quite finish him off, and then another body shot. I'm not sure exactly what the damage numbers would look like through that wall at that range. But either way...
Well, yeah, still crazy.
Kill's a kill.
And now both teams have got a half buy under their belt in the first half, kind of cancelling out the one we saw early on. As you build this one, should be a very competitive game. It's exactly what the first half has delivered.
And we'll see if either team can eke out a 7-5 lead. Seems maybe a little bit more likely for the Huns to do that at this point in time, given Rare Atom might have the cash in the back pocket. So a loss in this round for Rare Atom would be pretty disastrous.
Yeah, that would spell 7-5 almost with certainty. Again, playing on the front foot straight into middle nice and early, as has been the theme of the Huns' T side so far. Rare Atom have been happy to concede that control earlier in the round with a lot more emphasis in towards Cave Lee hangers here with Marek. Should just be the one-man setup, or Marek actually forced into the fight, hoping that means Liang goes unchecked, but 9 will get both those kills.
Easy as you like, apparently, for 9. Gonna start to dump some util there into Cave. No progression into the B bomb site just yet, but it does look like they're going to commit to it. Smoke's going to go through for long. And one for short now as well, and that is going to go for Huns' safe passage up into the B bomb site. We're at that point now where Rare Atom will just look to save their weapons. Not going to be getting the AWP out next round unless they keep this one alive, so Tiger will be holding on to that as best he can.
Summer with the CZ. Bro is still living in... When was it even good? Like 2018, maybe?
Yeah.
It's been so
maybe
long.
Even earlier than that.
Yeah, maybe, right. It's been so long since it's been a relevant pistol. Got to get with the times, fella.
Yeah, I feel like unless you're a CZ specialist, which I don't recall Summer ever really being, probably just better off with the 5.7. There are a couple of players that do like to angle all that gun, but all good in the end is he's not going to get to hang on to it anyway, but at least the M4 and the AWP do go through. So Rare Atom have got something to sort of jostle with here, but the Huns doing a decent enough job of keeping their noses in front.
Yeah, which is probably what they'd want, like the win out of the half here, considering the position that they'd gotten themselves in earlier in the half, and then what was like a 4-2 lead that they had behind them. I think 7-5 is what they would have been after at that point at a minimum. Looked like that might have been out of contention at one point, but then they went a half buy of their own, and it's right back up for grabs. Couple 5.7s and an MP9 to plug the gaps here for Rare Atom around that AWP and M4. Again, exact same sort of opening here from the Huns, and Bartak's been able to get a lot of space early on the round, already poking into Red Room.
Oh, okay. Child King's just locked in on Zeralt through the smoke. There'll be another smoke out there as well for Rare Atom. Child King getting his toes singed. And the grenade does go through, which enables both Score and Cobra Zero to take a duel and win it. So the round starting to be recovered by the Huns, slowly but surely. Nine, got to make sure he doesn't miss too many of these shots, but some are not interested in chasing him down anyway. And so it seems like the Huns are going to salvage it.
Yeah, something they do really well in that round is just, I mean, they've been doing it consistently, is just mollying the right side of Jag and then keeping the players locked in. They now know that that AWP is in Temple, so they'll just immediately shift into the B bomb site. Score's gotten another clean kill there. And Bartak will finish off the job, 7-5. I think the Huns will be pretty content with that going into the second half as they lead on their map pick.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I could run this town. Oh, I could run this town. Oh, I could run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me.
So not a bad start to the map for the Huns, 7-5 in that first half, and they'll move now on to the CT side. So we will be getting a pretty early engagement in the pistol. Child King with that P250 just knocks Nine's block off, which is going to be quite problematic for the Huns because it is now just Zeralt solo holding B.
And he's not even going to be able to hold a line with the smoke that now comes into play. So the B bomb site going to be fully in control of Rare Atom, and it's going to have to be the Huns who need to retake if they're going to be able to open up with a pistol round win here on their CT side. Doesn't seem likely though. I mean, they've got a flashbang, and that's it. No kit. Going to be making their lives a whole lot more difficult.
Let's see what that flash can do. Zeralt going to toss it in now, and that will result in the flood from the Huns, but no kill coming off the back of it. Start to raise my questions as to whether this can go the way of the Huns as time starts to tick away. There's no defuse kit. They're going to have to be quick about things, and they are doing a pretty good job of finding the frags, but unfortunately it seems like there's just a few too many to nab. Score not going to be given the chance here as Marek will just play the ring around the rosy, and Li Hang survives. So for for the round over and done with. The Glock burst into the head of score. And that is Rare Atom to take the pistol round.
Feels like a much needed pistol round for them as well, honestly. I feel like the game gets away from them quite quickly if they lose that pistol, especially if they force back. That doesn't go their way either, but now they just draw within a round, try and set themselves up here on this T side. Doesn't look like the Huns are too keen to force back yet, so it's pretty standard to force back on the CT side. Instead, they're going to opt for the eco. Score the only guy with the luxury of upgrading his pistol off the back of getting some kills in that pistol round. And a clear path to a leveled up scoreline now for Rare Atom. Remember, guys, this is the Huns' pick, so if Rare Atom can find a way to win the game from here on their T side, that would set them up really well for the 2-0 with Mirage to follow. That's been a really reliable map for them lately, so I wouldn't say it's like a complete win condition for the Huns to win here on Ancient, but it does feel quite important.
Yeah, in saying that though, just having a look at the last matchup that they played, it was 8-4 half either way. It did actually go to OT, but CT side at halves for both of these teams. Now, the only interesting caveat there being that both the CT sides won the pistol as well. So we've already gotten ourselves a T side pistol coming out here from Rare Atom and from the Huns. So that will bring with it a little bit of a change. But you look at that and say, okay, maybe the fact that the Huns got 7 on T side would be a positive indicator. But look, really, I think when it comes to these kinds of teams at this level of competition, you can only really grasp at straws when it comes to previous information. It never necessarily tends to correlate.
Yeah, it doesn't always go along the same sort of lines, right? You'd imagine that these two teams pretty familiar with each other, having gone back over the tapes as well, try and gloss over what went wrong, tighten the screws this time round. As we do go into the first gun round of the second half, M4s across the board. Light on utility, though, are the Huns, and as for Rare Atom, well, it's basically a bonus round, guaranteed a full investment in the next, no matter what happens here. So it's actually, if the Huns lose this, then the pressure starts to ramp up, I feel like exponentially at that point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you'll be scrambling to start recovering some of that CT economy, so be a nice first gun round to get in the back pocket if you're the Huns. Rare Atom, somewhat of a bonus. And Zeralt is burning alive, somehow wins the duel anyway. Obviously still burns to his death, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 for Li Hung, but this is an interesting move from Rare Atom in the meanwhile. They've created a lot of space for themselves, and I don't imagine that Score has spotted them on the crosshair. Tiger has been seen. He might have only seen one player with an SMG, not 3.
At least he spotted the bomb, though. That in itself is some ironclad information. But they've still just shift-walked their way all the way into the bomb site. Bartak on the boost, looking for the planter. Doesn't see anybody, loses his head. 9 good for 1 in response, but there's still a long road back here in the retake. Mac 10 trying to be dynamic, but 9 will shut him down. It's going to be the next man up to bat, but there's more where that came from. It's not just 9 by himself anymore. Bomb has been somewhat planted for Marek, but they've immediately been able to just jump on the defuse. I think it's going to have to be a 10-second defuse, though, so maybe a chance. Able to find the first. Can he get an angle on the diffuser? It's not going to happen. Cobra Zero will provide the cover necessary, and the Huns find their first round of the second half.
I think Tiger just getting a little bit overzealous there with the Mac 10. If he would have timed it a little bit better or coordinated that swing with Summer, then maybe it would have been a different story. Marek had such a nice flank, but just there a little bit too little too late in the end. And the Huns go up 8-7. Get ourselves a nice tech pause, as has become pretty standard when it's Asia ECL. So Rare Atom, at least we have to have a little bit of a look at the buy that they're going to have here for this coming round. And again, it is buying down to 0. So when it comes to Rare Atom and their way forward, they really don't want to be letting the Huns get away with too much in the next couple of rounds to rebuild that CT economy, get on top quite comfortably, and then close this out on the CT side. I mean, a very good opportunity for Rare Atom to take this map away from the Huns again, and then you'd think that Mirage will be a bit of a more comfortable story.
Yeah.
It is Rare Atom's map pick, and was in the last matchup as well, a bit more of a comfortable win for Rare Atom there as well. So I think this map tells us a lot as to how deep this series can go.
Yeah, it's true. But if Rare Atom are going to be able to realize that success here on Ancient, I feel like it's going to have to come through a gun round win here Otherwise, they're going to be quite far behind, and Child King has doubled down. He's been the one really strong player throughout the map so far for his team. He's found key kills just to keep the numbers even. In the meantime, though, Rare Atom do seem to have figured out that there isn't any resistance. Nobody home on the safe bomb site. 9 the first to respond. He's been spotted out. They'll molly him back. Child King tagged down in towards middle. Bomb plant secured. There's going to have to be another retake. And that is the retake done already before two of the 3 players don't even set foot in the A bomb site there for the Huns. Not even necessary. Able to just get the kills at range and then waltz on in.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, well, this is starting to get a little bit out of control for Rare Atom now as well. We'll see what they decide to do with this round. In theory, it should just be a save. Tech 9 armor maybe down to 2k. You've probably got, what, 2.4k loss bonus, something like that at this time. So they'll be able to afford to buy next round. Summer's over-invested a little bit there, down to 700. So he's not going to have too much in the next round to play with, but it does give them a little bit of extra util. Rare Atom have to cook in this round. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, we've seen these sorts of rounds go awry already, so you can't bank on these. It's going to be one player to jump through the smoke and hopefully pull the crosshair away from the smoke for the second player to come on through. It does ultimately eventually work out for a frag, and then Child King off the back of the AK has been able to pick up, just continues that surge forward. Okay, maybe a lease on life here for Rare Atom in the eco.
Ooh, hang on a second, this is interesting from Cobra Zera. He's pushed out in front of his teammates through that smoke. There was a flash to assist, but now down to the 1v1. 9 and Summer, USP's out in hand. 9 decides to back off and wait and see if he's going to get pushed by Summer, which he will, but just not from the angle that he wants to be. The wrap around the back is going to get this one done. Oh, no. Bit of a whiff, but 9 doesn't get away in the end, and Summer puts it together for Rare Atom, who breathe a sigh of relief that they're forced by, I mean, dare I say, even not a force buy, more of a half buy, actually makes that round work.
Which is, it's a disaster for the Huns, man. I mean, it's now the second time in the map they've lost a round of this nature. Think about where they could have been if they'd just been tighter in these anti-half buys. They could have been sailing off into the sunset of Mirage at that point, but Rare Atom has now pulled them back down to earth and broken their economy in the process. It's going to be a force buy now for the Huns lose this. It's going to be 10-9 before they can afford to reinvest. And it's going to be Tiger on the break open of the smoke to drop score already. That's one of the crown jewels removed from the Huns. Concerning signs for the team who have picked the map.
Certainly, and again, it's sort of that same issue that crops up that we talked about in the first half, where the Huns look like they're kind of on top, they're getting control of the half, and then they lose a round to a half buy, a pistol buy, a force buy, what have you. I've seen it so many times before. Once in the first half, now once in the second half. And you just can't afford to be losing those kinds of rounds, especially on multiple occasions in a map of Counter-Strike, especially against a team like Rare Atom that is on a similar level to you. Inevitably, that's going to punish you somewhere along the track, and it might well be here for this map, and that might honestly punish them for this series as well. We'll see. Job not yet done, obviously, for Rare Atom. Even if they do pick those couple of rounds up, they've still got to find quite a number of gun rounds to close this map out, but they've definitely been given more than enough rope to hang the Huns with.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I mean, it's the Huns who have given them the rope, man. That's my real concern. 5v3 Farsack looking to get ahead of the donut smoke, slightly blinded up there by the flash. It's going to be a double swing, which will lead to his demise. Zeralt and Cobra Zera, the two young guns here, looking to try and find a way to save the day. Bomb planter has been dropped, and Cobra Zera coming through from Temple will catch Tiger off with the 5-7. Needed that instant double. He's trying to create the space now for Zeralt to get in on the action, and he will. Great activation from him. Lee Hang, last man left alive, 10 seconds. Knows where both these players are, but the open play will finish off the job, and the Huns have just been saved by Zeralt and Cobra Zera.
As tends to often be the case. Couple of little individual pop-offs, and that might put a dampener on Rare Atom's plans. Money looking a little bit spotty, so for all the hard work that they put in to get back to that position where they could equalize the numbers, it's gone back in the other direction. We get another tech pause out. And it looks like, again, we're going to get another force buy out from Rare Atom. Maybe just the hero AK on Lee Hang. And then the rest of the lads to buy pistol armor around it. But this is getting a little bit too close for comfort for both teams, I dare say.
Yeah, true. And both teams kind of squandering their opportunities to push this game home. That was Rare Atom's moment. Not only were they playing against the Force Bow, but it's also a 5 versus 3 in their favor. Have the rug pulled out from underneath them, and they themselves now going to force back, so we'll continue to go back and forth with the Force Wars, but lose this as Rare Atom, and it's 12-8 before you get a full buy, so could be over before they know it. A lot riding on this round right now.
A virtue for the CT side at the moment. It's worked out for scores. He picks up that early kill onto Child King. He's still in play here in the hands of Li Hang, and he's looking for an opener. It's an interesting setup, though, from the Huns, isn't it? Where they've essentially kind of given up the B site.
Yeah, and I'm also just not entirely sure why. I mean, you've got Bartak, who's looking for the cross and donut, then 2 players hard committed to Red Room. And Rare Atom are going to skirt on in towards this vacant B-bomb site. You can see at least the Huns are now starting to gravitate in this direction, but they're probably still going to have to retake. That kill will help. That drops the bomb carrier, and it just softens up the numbers.
We'll get a plan.
That plan could be meaningful, yeah.
Let's see what Li Hang can do. Maybe Tiger with this Deagle, if he can land one onto Bartak, could shift gears a little bit. Li Hang only going to be good for 1. And so it's all on Summer, who is just going to have absolutely no idea. Bartak's tucked in the corner there, apparently. And so this will be 11 for the Huns as they home in on a victory on map 1. You know, hunt every little possible piece of util, I guess, is the CT side, but eventually that defuse will come through.
Yeah, one of my main concerns for Rare Atom is even though they've been competitive, it's been largely dependent on Child King popping off or Li Hang as well. But outside of those two, there's a lot left to be desired from an individual level out of Rare Atom. Can't say the same for the Huns though. Almost from top to bottom, you're getting meaningful contributions across the board.
I'm a little bit surprised that Tigers 6 and 15. It's not really the kind of numbers that you want to be seeing from one of the newer additions to the team. So you can improve upon that. It's a tough fight for him here against Zeralt. The Tech 9 at close range not able to strike, and Zeralt gets given a bit of a second lease on life there. Some a wayward spray does get punished. Huns are closing in on 12.
Yeah, that was the concern with the investment there from Rare Atom in the previous round. If it didn't go their way, which it obviously doesn't, then they'd have to try and recover overtime, which is going to require 4 rounds in a row on their T side. Just doesn't seem likely, I'm afraid. I'm just thinking, they haven't even won a gun round yet, have Rare Atom in the second half, right? They won the pistol and the conversion, and then that one Tech 9 round. So, yeah, they win a good couple of gun rounds here to try and
not winning gun rounds. It does make it difficult to win a game of Counter-Strike if you're not picking up.
Yeah,
Child King,
only the lion's
he's
share
going
of
to
the
try
rounds.
his best. Zeralt is dead through the smoke. So, a bit messy there was as far as the mid control is concerned for the Huns, but happy to just give that control over to Rare Atom and stack toward B, which might well prove to be the right call.
Man, brute force approach right now off the back of the utility. They're just going to waltz on into the speed bomb site. Huns have been locked out by the utility. Good incendiary though. We'll actually just delay proceedings for a little bit longer, maybe buy some time for Bartak on his flank. You've got Child King controlling middle. And 9 who does pick up a kill before the bomb plant secured. That's so much damage on the wall bang. Tiger super low. Cobra Zero hoping to finish it off, but Tiger's been able to just nestle himself in. Forces Cobra Zero forward into a couple more players. Kills continue to go back and forth. Score does get overwhelmed, and that should be the kill that locks in the round here for Rare Atom as they get to live for a little bit longer on Ancient.
Yeah, 9 just gonna give himself a little bit of an opportunity there, but not connecting it. You're right, Rare Atom holding on for the moment. It's a nice kill. And the last time these teams played on this map, it actually did go to overtime, and that's not too far away here for Rare Atom. Can start to pick up a couple of rounds. Money's not really in a precarious position here for the Huns at the moment, but you know, another loss or two at an 11-12 scoreline, maybe then they'll be in a bit of an awkward spot. And that would be the worst time to be getting reset as the Huns, so they'll be hoping that they can just clean it up nicely here and now. Has definitely been touch and go.
Yeah. Basically 2 gun rounds between where Rare Atom find themselves right now and overtime. That's how the equation reads. Huns looking to contest middle. 9 in the corner. He's got a teammate behind him though. A bit of a bait and switch setup being employed between them. 9 just rattling off shots. He's trying to really puff up his chest right now. Seen what a big theme Jag contests have been throughout this half for both of these teams as well. It's going to be the case here once again. Wallbang damage going both ways. And it's going to be Score to actually draw first blood. And he's actually searching for more. He's bloodthirsty. No fear at all. In the meantime though, Rare Atom looking to focus in towards the safe bomb site. It's just Bartak who's here. And he's got good timing on the first but can't find the kill.
A lot of moving and shaking happening on this CT side at the moment. Marek and some are very low. Bit of a forward hold across the board though. And 9, oh, you'd think he'd be set up for success there. He goes for the repeak, thinks about it again. And he'll sort himself out. That's all good. 4 on 2 now. Rare Atom are going to have a very difficult time of recovering this one. Marek is super low. Probably just has to take a risk here and walk his way up onto the B bomb site. Hope that he can maybe find a timing onto Cobra Zero or at least just take some space. They need to take a risk somewhere, otherwise this round is not going to be winnable. That grenade might actually be enough. It's gone too deep.
I don't even know why you're trying to drop the nade at that point. If Marek gets this kill on 9, the round is alive, and he absolutely does. It destroys the AWP. Score answer back. It's the low health of Marek. Nearly gifted an opportunity to catch Score on the jump back across. And he now has to try and get smart with it. Low on health. It's going to be really challenging. At least able to avoid the artillery, but he can't avoid the might of Bartak. What a well-rounded performance there from Huns as they get across the line. Everybody between that 18 and 15 kill mark. Great contributions as they win their map pick.
Yeah, look, it was a bit touch and go for a while there, and it could have certainly been a lot cleaner from the Huns, but nice to see them get what could be considered a comfortable win. I mean, I think 13-9 you'd say is generally a pretty stable scoreline, especially considering they lost a couple of pretty egregious on this map, and whether or not maybe someone like 9 can kind of get the ball rolling a little bit with that AWP on the CT side, because again, I presume that the Huns will be kicking things off here on the CT side of Mirage, and if they can convert some of that map 1 to map 2 form as well, because as you so astutely put, it was a pretty across-the-board performance from Huns on Ancient, and I think they're going to need that again here on Mirage to close this series out 2-0. In fact, I'd honestly probably be leaning towards a map 3 here. It just feels like it's one of those series where these teams are so evenly matched that we probably will see map 3, but let's see if Huns can change that narrative.
Yeah, they're certainly going to have an uphill battle. I don't think it's inconceivable though, but yeah, backing Rare Atom to force a third map does make the most sense. Let's see as they start off their excursion as you expected on the T side. They've got 2 smokes good couple flashes, or at least, yeah, there's 2 flashes. Quite a lot of utility here for the T side. Look at Score, he's going searching. Child King in the corner, gonna get a frag off it up for free, and they've seen Cobra Zero in the corner as well. He's quite fortunate to get a kill before he goes down. 9, the next man up to bat, completely blinded up, no immediate support. He needs at least a frag from this position. Holding on for as long as he does is pretty good, but a kill would be better, and he's found that frag. Now, there might be a second player who can get in on the act. Does 9 even require support is the question, and maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. A huge triple kill from 9. The second onto the player at bench was absolutely insane, and at least Marek alone, he's got to commit to this B bomb site. Bombs down in front of him, and 9 can take a bow for that pistol. That was entirely on him. I can't say I'm a huge fan of the push that Score made in the apartments. That felt like it was a little bit overzealous, but doesn't end up getting punished for it. First round on the board does go the way of the Huns. Rare Atom immediately looking to force their way into this round and change things up from the get-go. So it's not going to be an easy way forward for the Huns.
It should have been their round every day of the week for Rare Atom, though. I mean, the fact that Score goes down empty-handed, I mean, Cobra Zero does well to get a kill, but it's all on 9 that he stays alive as long as he does, and then actually starts to just pick up kills as well. Great return out of him, forced by here from the T side. Not going to disparage Huns from making some plays here. Score towards top mid, going to open up the kill feed. Putting that MP9 to good use on the front lines and whittling down the numbers for his opponents. Quite a lot of utility still for Rare Atom to work with, as you imagine. They're probably just going to revert back to an A exec.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad shout either. Bartak is essentially playing for the retake. So if they do go for the A exec, they probably at least get a bomb plant down. Ollie's gone through to try to clear out balcony. Made in response from Bartak, who's got to make sure that he doesn't overcommit to this fight. Inevitably does decide to just back up through that smoke. He's going to nade it open. Try to open up some of the angles. This is, I got to say, starting to get a little bit messy if you're the Huns. No kills. Giving a few opportunities over to Rare Atom, and Marek on the fast flank. He is going to get this kill onto Zerold, or maybe he's not. What a massive whiff. Down to the 5-on-3 now for Rare Atom, but they do have that bomb timer ticking in their favor. Lihang and Summer, the 2 remaining survivors, both relatively low. Zero will get himself 1, 9 the other, and the Huns will win the round. That was a bit touch and go for a moment, but they're lucky to get away with 4 guns, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, the fact that they keep 4 players alive and win the round, I mean, at one point, it would have just been all focus on trying to win the round, and then ultimately, they're actually able to keep majority of their players alive. A big whiff there from Marek. Should have had that player in connector dead to right every day of the week, and then imagine what that does to the post plant, right? It makes life so much more awkward and uncomfortable, as if it wasn't already awkward and uncomfortable enough for the Huns. That certainly would have shaken things up even further, but Marek not able to connect. I tell you what, Elfish guy, Kaze gets that kill.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so. You'd hope anyone would get that kill. I think even I might have gotten that one. But 2-0 is where we're going to find ourselves. And the Huns, again, are going to be tested a little bit. It doesn't look like Rare Atom want to let any control of this map slip. And they're going to continue to force their way in. Tiger's gone for the Hero AK. Now, this one should be a bit of a surprise for the Huns. You would definitely not be expecting a round 3 buy here after seeing the upgraded pistols in the last round. Maybe Tiger can get a bit of work done, a bit of economic damage. 9 will drop, but that's now the jig up. They are aware that there's an AK in play.
Yeah, bold move to go for the Hero AK in the 3rd round. I mean, generally I am on board with the Hero AK. I just don't often see it in like the lose pistol, force back, and then 3rd round eco Hero AK. It's only like a bit deeper in the half. Means the Tiger's going to be knocked down a peg going into the gun round itself. What does he get? Like, I guess a Desert Eagle or a Mac 10? I don't know. I mean, normally you want more round loss bonus behind you so that you can get like a little armor at a minimum. I guess he might be able to afford that if he can get another kill here. Not going to happen, though. This is block knocked off by Zerold. Good trade, though. The economic damage will certainly be welcomed. Oh, maybe more? Shouldn't be.
Should not be. Score knows 100% Marek is right here. And Cobra Zero does the honors on to Lihang. So the Huns will get through another round. Obviously, this buy is going to be somewhat impacted by the previous investment there for Rare Atom, so Tiger's going to have to go down to a Mac 10. Otherwise, it's looking pretty okay. Been a bit of an interesting start to the map, but the Huns are keeping their noses in front for the moment.
Whenever you come into a map as an underdog, getting to win the pistol and then you convert it and go off to that 3-0 start is such a nice boost before you actually get into the thick of the gun rounds themselves, where there's probably going to be more of a disparity between the two teams. Just got a bit of a buffer now behind them, breathe a bit easier. I'm going to be looking at 9 in particular here with the Zorp on the CT side, thinking that he might be one of the most important components if the Huns can find success in this half, and he doesn't realize that there's been a T who's emerged from lowers already. It's not going to cost the cat player his life. 9 patiently waiting for his opportunity will pounce and draw first blood. Zeralt acting on the back of that as well will find himself a kill too.
I was definitely a little bit concerned about 9 there. If the fire had gone in his direction instead of the engagement onto score, I think 9 might have gotten caught off guard, exactly as you said. Don't think he spotted the cross from connector or underpass to the bench position. But all good in the end for the Huns so far. They're going to double swing mid by the looks of it. So Walt and Bartek going to have a little bit of a look, and that has gone a little pear-shaped. A nice couple of duels for Rare Atom, and all of a sudden they do have a little bit of a chance back into this round, although with Tiger low and 9 still holding on to top con. Huns are looking stable enough. There's a good shot. Cobrazera spots out Marek. This is getting scary, though. I mean, they just keep giving him doable ones.
Look at how low all 3 of them are. They barely make up like 100. They don't even make up 100 health between the 3 of them. Marek with 18 seconds is going to catch Cobrazera. I mean, the Huns continue to make plays in these rounds. He knows he's got the AWP outside of con. He's going to try and duel the AWP. He's got the health to go straight through the incendiary as well. 9 posted on the angle. It's a really quick fire shot there to pour cold water on the round. Great round out of him in particular. He goes 8-1. I will say, though, the Huns did just a lot of unnecessary plays being made after they get those initial kills, just giving Rare Atom potentially a way back into the round.
Yeah, again, it kind of comes down to what I've been saying about the Huns. They're just a team that they just do some goofy things, you know what I mean? Like, the discipline isn't necessarily there, and it's constantly been a conversation point that we've kind of had about teams that from Mongolia that are not the Mongols, is that their discipline typically is lacking. It's not as if the firepower's not there. It's not as if the skill isn't there. You know, I mean, you've seen some of these rounds that 9's been able to pull off. He's fantastic when it's going right, but just in general, the team coordination in some of these more high-pressure moments can become a bit awkward. That's better, though. Good coverage from Zeralt to help out 9, who gets a grenade kill in onto Tiger. It all comes together this time around for the Huns. And, yeah, if they could just sort of fix up, you know, cross the T's, dot the I's, I think they could really be a very scary prospect. But it's just the little things, really, that let these kinds of teams down. And it's... You know, it's so easy to sit here and say, oh, they should do this, they should do that, but I suppose it's obviously a lot more difficult in practice.
Yeah. It does feel like that's a requirement for them to transcend to the next level, and also, like you mentioned in the previous map, if they're going to be able to actually do any damage at the major itself, those are boxes that are going to have to be checked. Like, you're not going to be able to get away with the same sort of style against European teams. You're just going to get punished straight up. So I kind of look at the coach in that regard and think, yeah, you know, you should be maybe trying to keep a bit of a tighter leash on the boys. I see it's Carnage who's the coach for the Huns. He's been around for a bit as a coach, not super long. Either way, I guess it's also just their style, right? And they might just be super stubborn with it. Because of that, Tiger gets boosted up, not able to connect. He does spot a player crossing, though, so it's good information, at least gained at a minimum. 9 continues to be the playmaker, though, for the Huns. Again, finding an opening frag as he goes up to 11-1.
And this is exactly what we talked about as well at the start of this map. You know, if 9 can have a good game, CT side of Mirage, stable AWPer, then it's going to be a tough day at the office for Rare Atom, and that is very much what we're getting. I have to say, I have been generally quite impressed by 9 in this Huns roster. I thought for a while that he had kind of past his prime. He was someone that, you know, we saw some pretty good stuff from around that, like, 2020 sort of, you know, 2019, 2020, 2021 kind of time.
Yeah,
I
sure.
thought by that point that he had been taken out of IHC, that he was, not someone that we were really going to see too much more of. But, he's done really well for himself, I think, with this Huns lineup. And you'll remember what he was able to do when they did play internationally at that Blast Spring event earlier on in this year. He was definitely the standout there, and he continues to have frequently maps like this one domestically. So I'm quite eager to see what they can do, the Huns, when they do go to the major.
I feel like his style is what makes it difficult for him to be a stable AWPer, because he's always the guy who's in these sorts of situations, close proximity. Yeah, he lives by the sword, dies by the sword, but when he's living, that sword is feels like it's wielded by a samurai. Marek does get a kill back to maybe give his team a chance in the round. As I say that, though, he's going to get peppered down by a score. Not the cleanest shots, but he gets the kill anyway. 6-0 for the Huns as they've already raced to a guaranteed leveled up scoreline going into the second half.
Can you imagine Marek has that kill?
Oh, that would have been a disaster. I was just going to say, Child King, maybe he got that opening kill in the pistol round where he shuts down the CT player pushing through apartments. It's the only kill he's gotten so far. And the last time that they played against each other, Child King dropped, I think I checked earlier, like 22 kills on Mirage when Ray Atom got the win. So that hasn't been a factor so far. He's going to have to come online.
Yeah, I mean, might be too little too late for that with the way that this has kind of already run away from Rare Atom. We're going to get another tech pause. Imagine this one on the side of Rare Atom, considering they're not doing any purchasing just yet.
How do they spend their money here is what I'm wondering. It does look like it's going to be the half investment. Guess that makes the most sense, just looking to the next round to get a full buy. They've got quite a lot of firepower behind them. We saw them win, 2 rounds of this nature, I think, on Ancient. So,
okay, but what about the Galil here from Summer? Someone's brought down to 650. He's 2-6. He's the IGL. Are you really buying a Galil here, or are you buying some Tech 9 and extra util and just letting Li Hung potentially win the round for you? Because I don't know. I just don't really vibe with the... If you're going to go for the Hero AK, I think go for the Hero AK, but I'm not sure that we want to have the Galil here as well.
I mean, he gets 3,400 if they lose the round, so he'll be just over the edge of that 4K mark, but it does deprive him of a bit of utility, and as the IGL, that's normally your main domain. Child King gets one for free with this Tech 9. Bartak gets overwhelmed. He's traded out. It's only Zerolt who's got a bit of a foothold on the safe bomb site. Not even really. I mean, maybe a bit of an element of surprise. He could catch the bomb carrier in transition. Yes, free frag for him. Tips the scales in his team's favor. 2v3, and the Huns all of a sudden in a much better position.
That's really well done from Zerolt. Good patience. Such a young player, still an up-and-coming individual in the Mongolian scene, and being able to display that patience is what might actually win this round for the Huns. He's getting a little bit over-eager here for the fight onto Li Hang, but Cobra Zero setting himself up for the trade frag if necessary. Good 1-2 punch there from the Huns, and again, looking really, really switched on in that round. I'm quite impressed with the way that Zerolt played that. Another tech pause. So there's all sorts of problems apparently. But yeah, I mean, look, obviously 9 gets caught off guard. That's a little bit awkward as those players just sort of scale out a connector. But it seems like the Huns have got the fundamentals to deal with that accordingly. Yeah. And so the purchase doesn't really work out for Rare Atom there at all.
At least Summer got a kill, so it does push him over the edge. You're going to be able to get that AK armor, decent util. But if it's not in this round for Ray Atom, I feel like we can almost just wrap this one up and call it a day, right? Like their entire lives are riding on this round. It's not like you win the round here as Ray Atom and all of a sudden it's back to business as usual. That's just the round you win to hold on for a little bit longer.
All right. Well, we'll have a bit of a time to think, I suppose, which you would imagine can only help Rare Atom at this stage. No, we won't. We're back into it. Okay. Well, hopefully Rare Atom can figure something out, because they're down 0-7 on their map pick, which is definitely not too impressive at all. This shot, though, from 9 is going to put Score under a bit of pressure. It doesn't look like they're going to check him. How are you not going to check him at this point in the game? I don't know, but 9 gets one as well with the Tech 9, and this round and maybe this map might as well be over and done with. Rare Atom are looking like they're falling flat.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, just look at the kills across the board. I'm not great at maths, but even I can add these ones up. What, 3, 6, 10, 15, 17 kills across the entirety of the team. Plays 15 frags for 9 alone. It's almost out-fragging the entirety of the Rare Atom team at this point, 8 rounds deep into the game. Rare Atom really looking to force themselves into that round, trying to play on the front foot, but they get shut down emphatically. They're going to go for another half buy here as the game continues to get away from them.
And And Nine's going to change up his position a little bit and take the fight toward middle this time. Has been typically playing from connector. Not too much presence in mid initially from Rare Adam, but Nine finds his man eventually as Child King does go down, and now he's just going to back off. Leave the rest of the job maybe up to the riflers to control this round. There is a push out from Bartak.
Yeah, what a
I dare say he's going to get a kill. Oh, I thought Summer tried to maybe make the jump there actually into Palace, but he's decided to go back towards T-Spawn instead. Bartak's going to have an incredibly fast flank here. This is really nice for the Huns, and this is what you can afford to do when you're up 8-0 and you don't really care. Bartak just walking his way into Palace says, you know what? I'm going to go for a fast flank, and this is going to add further confusion to the round for Rare Adam.
Yeah, you fully get to take these sorts of liberties, and now Nine is able to cheat himself over in towards that B bomb site as well. I'm not a big fan of Zerolt's position, honestly. It's created the gap.
Nine's watching for it.
How on earth are they actually privy to this? That's just crazy awareness. Bomb Carrier's been able to make his way up catwalk, but only as far as Cap before they start to come into resistance, and Nine, with his wits about him, is going to get that all-important kill. It's a flawless anti-half investment there from the Huns as they race that 9-0 scoreline. Nine now up to 17-2. What a game from him. I did earlier say he's the guy that I'm looking at here on the CT side for the Huns, and boy, has he delivered.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really nicely played round from the Huns. I've got to give them the credit for that. I think there's been, a lot of instances in the history that I've watched the Huns play, and I don't think they would have won that round. I think, Marek gets the timings, Zeralt doesn't call that he's left this open, Nine's watching market, something like that, and the round sort of just falls apart from what looks like it should be a free win for the Huns. So seems like maybe there's some positives abound for the Huns. Obviously, fairly recent additions still for this team of Score, and even their coach Carnage coming in relatively recently too, maybe making a bit of a difference. But I like it. I like what I'm seeing from the Huns here.
Yeah.
Mirage, they're looking really switched on, which is a fantastic sign heading into the major. I don't have a lot of hope for Rare Adam, and I never really did, frankly. I think there was maybe another team or two that I would have probably preferred to have taken that final Asia slot, but Rare Adam have got it. We'll see what they can do, but at the very least, I've got some hopes for the Huns of at least taking a game or two at the major.
Okay. Yeah, it will be cool to see what sort of a level we get from them. If they can cause any upsets, shake things up a bit in that first stage of the major. I reckon both these teams might be a lot of people's 0-3 picks going into the first stage, but yeah, sometimes they can be unpredictable. Either way, in towards the A-bomb site now. A couple players coming through from Palace, and they will get the better of Score without losing anyone in the process. Bartak bested as well. Here we go. This might be the first situation that they've actually had a man advantage. Going to find the plant over on that A-bomb site as well. You can bet your top dollar that the Huns will attempt the retake. They've got all the money in the world. Quintuple digits on 4 of the 5 players. But it's not going to matter much here. Finally, Rare Atom going to be able to open up their account on the T side of Mirage.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a ragdoll. Jeez.
A little cartwheel.
Yeah. Nine's been absolutely booked. All right, well, 1 round on the board for Rare Adam. Can they make it 3 is the question we're going to have to ask ourselves now. Like I said, plenty of money here for the Huns, so don't imagine it's going to be an easy one for Rare Adam, but they've got Tiger, they've got all the weapons they want.
Score with an AWP as well, by the way. Double AWP setup being played by the Huns.
Yeah.
You fancy his double AWP?
Yeah, not really. I think it's a little bit like if you know what the Senzu secondary AWP is like for the Mongols. It's very nice shot from Nine again. It's very feast or famine for these secondary AWPers from Mongolia.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that Score can't hit a shot or two, but I think he's just such a stable rifler, and also you've got Nine absolutely popping off on the AWP. Why do you really need a second AWP here for?
It does feel surplus to requirements. I'd say as your second AWP, it's not the worst thing to have like a Feast or Famine AWP. Like you can kind of use it as a trump card in some situations where maybe you need like an injection of life or some sort of a drastic change up. Not the case here though. Score might be able to get a kill. The two AWPs are stacked up on top of each other. Good luck, Lee Hang. It's going to be 9 to get a quad kill in the round. He's up to 21 frags. He's almost averaging 2 kills a round at the moment. That is a ridiculous output coming through from the Mongolian AWPer. Serious and important question though. Has 9 ever played against 9? 9 the player against 9 the org? Be a caster's worst nightmare?
I've had a few bad ones. Dexter and Texter, they're two. Obviously, you know Dexter. Texter's another Australian player, so they used to play against each other a lot. Dexter and Texter was a tough one. And then
could have
we
Dexter
have
and Dexter as well. Internationally,
we
at least.
Azza, Gaza, and Hazza as well in Australia. And
Lovely.
there was back in the day in Source, there was a guy called Tazza as well. So I always felt like we should have made a team with
Just
Azza,
Azzas.
Gaza, Hazza, and Tazza.
Well, thank God they didn't.
Maybe Bazza, Barry. We call Barry
Yeah, could
Bazza.
be. Yeah, I know. Good old nickname for Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there certainly are some fun ones out there. I know in a lot of there's like 3 South American players named Nick or Nix as well. Some sort of variation of Nick or Nix. So that one always gets me. Zera's become quite popular. I mean, it's not like you trip over that much, just like the suffix, right? Made it all the way to Mongolia. The classic Zera suffix. 10-1. I mean, it felt like maybe at 9-0 Rare Atom win a round. It's like, okay, 9-1. Can they win the last 2 rounds of the half? Give us 9-3. You win the pistol, you convert. Win first gun round. There's maybe a bit of a conversation to be had at that point. But all of those hypotheticals just immediately shut down by who else but 9. He gets that quad kill in the round to get the Huns straight back to winning ways up to double digits as a result. Just 3 rounds away from winning the whole map. And with that, the series.
Maybe Score. Maybe Score can do it. Who else but Score with the secondary AWP? He's in mid. He's got the primary AWPing position. He's bullied 9 out of it. He said, mate, you can go and play B out.
It's my turn, yeah.
You're only 21-3. Well, it'll be Zerolt's job to perhaps hold on to things here. He's been flashed out, but someone's got no idea. There's the first kill for Zerolt, but instantly traded by Tiger. And we're back to a 3-on-3 now, so 9's going to have to come scurrying across. Score's traded out for an M4 anyway. Might have been better off with the AWP there. A bit of a wayward spray. Into the 2-on-3 now. Cobra Zera will be the one that you'd think will have to do the lion's share of the job here, considering how low a lot of these T players are. Molotov into Firebox to dig out that position. There's no one there. So Cobra Zera is going to have to get a wriggle on now. Smoke on for the bomb. 9 going to look for that defuse. Cobra Zera for 1-2 through the flash. I don't know how he's got that. And now there's a very real possibility that this round still goes the way of the Huns. It will. 11-1 at the end of the first half. The Huns are dominating Rare Atom.
Bruh. That's a big fat bruh for me. Like, what Zerolt almost just gives that round up. He does his best somebody impression. Like, he was just, like, I thought he had timed out, honestly. Then he gets blinded, regains his vision, gets the kill. He's just like...
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account a blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better day.
Well, it's been an astonishing first half to Mirage as the Huns are storming away with Rare Adam's pick 11-1, and you'll rarely see a better half of Counter-Strike than what you got out of 9 there. 21-3. There was only maybe a couple of instances where he got caught off guard, but he absolutely dominated. So looks like the Huns are going to close this series out 2-0, unless Rare Adam can pull off something of a miracle.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It would require a miracle. Rabbit from the hat doesn't do it justice. As it is going to be the Huns looking to charge in towards the speed bomb side. Bartak pre-fires the corner, looks away, goes back, and is able to still get that kill. Marek, who is completely blinded up. Cobra Zero in the meantime finds a frag as well. Bomb plant going to be committed to, and there's a man surplus now for the Huns in the post plant.
Well, Summer gets away with a little bit too much there, actually. Cobra Zero and Bartak both going down. Score unable to claim a kill as they exit door. And that'll be problematic for him as he starts to get wrapped upon. Dies fighting. A 1-for-1. Now it's on Zeralt solo. Bomb not quite planted for him, so he's going to have to really commit for this cancel. Summer taps the defuse once again. Child King will take the head off of Zeralt, and Rare Adam live to fight another day.
I love Child King with the Julies there after shooting at the first player when he switches to the guy in apartments. It was almost like a spray transfer, like while he was still rattling off the shots with the Julies, like a tap transfer maybe. Ray Atom do exactly as was required by winning the pistol. Like you say, Summer probably getting more from that position than he should have. Should have gone down straight up after he comes through from the market door, but afforded a lease on life and takes full advantage. Problem is, they're just 2 rounds away from losing the series, so it's going to have to be a perfect performance from them here. Have they got it in them? Going to be many tests. First test was the pistol, and then an immediate test afterwards with the follow-up for Spy.
Cobra Zero up close and personal here. Tiger makes short work of him, but will fall to Bartak. Still, it's really again going to be on to 9, and he can't get much done. So you'd think that might well be the round over and done with, but we'll see what score on Bartak can put together. These two teammates back in the day as well, so maybe a little bit of synergy there for those two. Bit of damage done as well to Charking and Li Hang, so that will help to soften the blow if it's needed for the Huns.
Should be no way though, right? I mean, they've got 2 smoke grenades between them, could help out a little bit. I think even a bomb plant at this point would be worth celebrating. As they do start to emerge, it's going to be the Tech-9 coming through from ramp first, looking for contact. Nothing on offer from Ray Atom, though. Good discipline, just making sure that they don't take unnecessary fights. Now the jig is going to be up as they decide to actually smoke top connector, interestingly enough. I thought it would have just been the straight-up jungle smoke, but Top con smoked off. You don't need to dual CT here. You can't just guarantee yourself the bomb plant. They're not going to go for the plant, though. Yeah, I think at that point, just, you know, the bomb plant should have been the priority.
Well, not the case this time. The Huns aren't going to buy here anyway. Oh, are they?
Surely not, right? Must be a Hero Galil.
Score has always been this player, though. He is kind of he's the him, if that makes sense. He's going to do it if he feels he's got it going. And so it'll be Score and 9 that'll be entrusted with the upgraded weaponry.
This makes no sense to me.
No, I mean, but this is Asian Counter-Strike, so...
So par for the course, really, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It, genuinely, like, this will happen more often than not.
It's just like you're so far ahead, you don't need to make these sorts of gambits. Like, just set yourself up for that first gun round, get everything that you need, give yourself the best opportunity. At that point makes the most sense to me, but hey, let's see what they can do here with what they have at their disposal. Bartak is the one to sacrifice himself to enable 9. Gotta have a big plan in this round, though. If this is the type of the investment you're gonna go for, it can't just be like a... Oh, man, come on, guys. Like, why is the guy with the AK going in first? If you're gonna go for these Hero rifles, at least let the pistols go in to try and set the rifles up, and there we go. Showing some teeth here as they're able to get a couple kills.
Yeah, Lihang also down at about half HP. Now, the thing is gonna be, Cobra Zero will ideally not want to drop this AK at the bottom of mid, because there's not going to be a retrievable weapon at that point. So it'd be better if he could just group back up with his teammates. Maybe they hit the B bomb site together. They are making a bit of noise. And if they make too much noise, that will be heard by Marek, and it will potentially inform the rotates. 25 seconds left, though. They can't afford to wait too long. They've got a 4-on-2 advantage on this B bomb site. They just need to get themselves an entry onto Lihang, but he's held nicely. Score and Zarol both going down. The rifle's still in play, though, here in the hands of Bartek and Cobra Zero, and they are put to good use. They need to get that bomb plant down, and that will be achieved before Cobra Zero goes down, and it's all on the shoulders of Bartak. He's got no armor, and he's now down to 58 HP, but the headshot will be enough. 12-3. Summer can't get it done. The Huns, 1 round away from victory.
Yeah, what's crazy is Score and 9 were the 2 players to come into the round with upgraded rifles, and both of them come up empty-handed. No, okay, Score did get a kill. That was early and towards top mid, but it's Cobra Zero and Bartak who do most of the damage. Bartak, I mean, it's kind of like poetic justice that he gets the multi-kill, because he was the one who dropped the rifle initially down to $100, and then he gets the 2 kills and wins the 1v1 just standing out in the open. Quick fire headshot. Disaster for Rare Atom. As Score just gifts his life up on a silver platter, but this just feels like a formality from here.
Well, I wouldn't count my chickens before they hatch. Liang already 1 good shot onto Score. Might have the opportunity for another one as Cobra Zero goes crouching right into his crosshair, and this round is very quickly going to get away from the Huns. There's another clean headshot from Tiger this time. And it's just all over the place. Things going from bad to worse for the Huns. So we'll be left with another few rounds.
I mean, that was just like a bit of a nothing round from them, running it down in middle, going down, then just trying to go in towards the B bomb site. There were no layers of abstraction before the commitment. Super easy for Rare Atom, who demand more respect than that, I think. I have seen these crazy comebacks happen before. I mean, they're quite rare in CS2, but I saw a 12-4 comeback into OT, and then the team that made the comeback eventually won the game in double overtime. So it's pretty fresh in my memory.
Yeah, definitely not impossible. I'd say it's quite improbable, but...
Yeah, that's fair.
When it comes to Counter-Strike in this region, I never say never.
Learned your lesson by now.
Absolutely. And we're going to have a scout this time from Score. So he's getting the party mix as far as the weapons used in this game is concerned. He's had an M4, an AK, a Galil, an AWP, a scout. And that one hasn't worked.
He's going to get that achievement at the end of the game, most unique weapons used. It's like, oh, great, lovely. Thanks for that recognition.
See if he can pull out a Negev or maybe like a don't know. An auto sniper. We haven't seen I feel like we never see auto snipers anymore. A Dak Dak.
Dak Dak, the
in
classic. Yeah. I mean, the classic MR3s, 15k, 16k back in the day. You just get Dak Daks every round on Dust 2 at least, right? If any map. Either way, 12-5. First time we've had a full buy. Bartak preempts the smoke break there from Tiger. Has his head ripped right off. First blood drawn by the Huns as they look to try and finish off the job here.
Bartak got to be careful he doesn't get a bit too overzealous though. He's down to 33 HP. As Zerolt's trying to jump up into windows, Scores walking his way out onto... It's a mess. It's all over the place right here for the Huns. They do know that there's a player floating around on A. Some are going to be given the 1v1 duel against Cobra Zero, but he does not win it.
Bombs in T-spawn.
I don't think we care about the bomb here anymore. I think we just want kill.
Yeah, I'm still actually backing Rare Atom to win the round from here until Marek has his head chopped right off. Li Hang's been heard, and he goes straight into Zerolt, who will finish the job off in style. The Huns make light work of Rare Atom on Rare Atom's map pick. They've won 13-5. What a lights out performance it was from 9 in the first half. Massive contribution from him, and that's a 2-0 victory, and they're into the grand final of Cup number 3.
Yeah, I love that. That's great stuff from the Huns. That's about as good as I've seen them play maybe nearly ever. Now, granted, the Rare Atom lineup that they're facing, I don't necessarily rate too